Hey guys, welcome to my new video. In this video, we're going to talk about streaming services and streaming services that are an alternative to Netflix. They're more for people who are interested in classic cinema, B movies, B horror movies, cult cinema, kind of piggybacking off my first video in episode 1, where we talk about boutique Blu-rays and region-free Blu-rays. This is a pretty long video. It took me a long time to edit. It's about 40 minutes to cover all the streaming services. I did make a lot of mistakes. I actually redid this video. Boom, bad girl. In this episode, we want to talk about Blu-ray. Fuck, no, we don't. Yeah, mistakes were made. So anyways, we're going to cover Netflix first, give us a baseline. I'm actually going to give you some codes to use to try and look up different genres that may not be quite obvious from browsing Netflix in general. We'll go Criterion, HBO Max, Prime, Shudder, Arrow, Full Moon, Troma, and then some free services like Tubi and the free listings on VUDU. So hopefully you get something out of this. Hopefully I explore and find films that you would be interested in. If you watched my first video, I talk about boutique Blu-ray and B movies and cult cinema. That's the cinema we're talking about. We're not talking about Marvel. We're not talking about anything really Disney Plus related. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you do, if you got anything out of it. And let's go ahead and get into our first streaming service. All right, let's start out with Netflix here. Granddaddy of all streaming services. We've all had it, used it, borrowed someone's login to try and avoid paying for it. It's a good place to start. Ground zero of streaming services to show you what is actually out there. We are just going to cover Netflix really briefly. They do have their own curated content or produced content, Netflix films. They just came out with Army of the Dead. Oh boy. They have a lot of, TV shows. Breaking Bad's on here, one of the greatest TV shows ever made. Biggity boom.
You're goddamn right.
And they have they just released a trifecta of horror movies or slasher movies called the Fear Street series. I just watched Fear Street 1994. They have 1978 and 1666. There's 94. We just saw there's 78. And 66 is probably around here somewhere. But what we're going to do is we're going to input codes. And, oh, there it is. 66. That's scary. We're going to go ahead and input some codes. Nothing that's really hidden. Just codes that kind of group listings together. Like classic horror or martial arts or classic movies in general. Classic dramas. So let's go ahead and input some of those codes. Okay, let's get one of these codes in there. B horror movie code 8195. Go ahead and check out, see what we got here. I mean, it's bad. It's got Strangers, Hellfest, the Ghost Story, cool. Not sure what that is. Mulan, kind of like anime. Machete Kills. I mean, not great. Okay, let's go ahead and check out this next code here. Slasher serial killer code 8646. What do we got? Boom. 1922 Stephen King movie. We got a little Hostel going on in there. Pan's Labyrinth. Or is that, wait, is that Ninja Assassin? Oh no. That is not slasher horror. I mean, I guess he uses a knife. Machete Kills again. Stuart Little. Oh my god. Well, that is not a horror movie. Yeah, it's pretty weak. Pretty weak sauce. In terms of if we're looking at slasher movies. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's put in our next code here. Martial Arts 8985. What do we got? Ninja Assassin, 5 Element Ninjas. Excellent. Okay, not a bad selection. Ip Man title in there. What else we got? Never Back Down, bro. 36 Chamber, a little Shaw Brothers stuff, little Shaolin stuff. I mean, not bad. Looking a little better than what we saw in terms of horror stuff. Has some modern, I guess, action chop-socky films. Not bad. Let's move on to our next code here. All right, let's get a little ritzy-titsy with a little film noir. 7687. Let's see what kind of noir films they have. Classic kind of 40s, 50s type detective movies. Oh, boy. Well, I mean, it's kind of not the place for those type of classic movies. The Criterion Collection, on the other hand, is going to be the place, and we're going to talk about Criterion in just a minute. So let's go ahead and nix this. Nah, I mean, it's not really showing the type of films that I'm really interested in or looking for. So let's go ahead and nix Netflix right now and move on to our next streaming service. Okay, so up next is the Criterion Channel. You fancy, huh? Yeah, you are fancy. Criterion is one of those OG boutique distributors. They've been around for a long time. I used to gobble up their DVDs like RoboCop, the X-rated edition. Their channel is excellent. It's probably one of the best alternative channels for cinephiles and people who want to watch classic Hollywood classics or Hollywood genre films. Their neo-noir category is glorious, featuring films such as The Long Goodbye,
There's a long goodbye,
Blowout. Blowout is a fantastic noir movie, probably one of Travolta's best performances. And we also got Manhunter here.
Manhunter.
Probably one of my favorites. It's right up there with Silence of the Lambs for me. The first time we actually do get to see Hannibal Lecter on screen.
Thank you so very much.
So amazing. A lot of people already know about that film, but just wanted to toss it in there. Okay, that's Criterion. It really is a no-brainer for cinephiles or people who like classic Hollywood films. They have a free 14-day trial. It's $10.99 a month and $9.99 a year. So that's pretty much all that can be said about Criterion. It's a great service, and check it out. All right, we're going to move on to our next streaming service here. Okay, up next is HBO Max. Now you're going to say, hey, HBO, isn't that a little mainstream for you? Well, isn't it, Zed? Well, check this out. It does have a lot of cool classic Hollywood features, but the main reason I wanted to include HBO Max is for this little category here. It's curated movies by Turner Classic Movies. Boom. We're getting into it now. Oh yeah, Basic Instinct. Anyway, so this section has a ton of good stuff. A lot of stuff that I really think it's worth the price of admission to just get HBO Max for this kind of stuff. All of these classic movies, award-winning movies. Let's just check out. So you got your Oscar winners. You want to see a little Kubrick? Boom, there you go. Little Batman, little Nicholson. Boom, there you go. And you have such just a gamut of all different genres and styles of film. Really good. If you look at the A to Z, see how many actual quality titles are going to be listed here. It's a ton. You want to get weird? Racerhead, boom. Lots of good stuff. And the sheer fact that this streaming service, I don't know any other streaming service would have the Lone Wolf and Cub series.
kill him.
Whoa! Hey! Hey!
Fucking phenomenal. One of my favorite movie series ever. Samurai, action, blood. Tarantino his pants.
Why the need for so much gruesome graphic violence? Why not let us imagine
Because
a
it's
little
so
of it?
much fun, Chad.
Check it out. it's worth it just to sign up for a month and check out the Lone Wolf and Cub series. Oh my God, I can't reiterate how great those samurai films are. One of my favorites, always have been. Have the DVDs, the Blu-rays, all that good stuff. Totally approved. All Mad Max movies. I mean, look at all of this stuff. This stuff is phenomenal and stuff that you can't necessarily find on any other service. So, oh, you can see my pics there. Watching a little Serpico, boom, moving over to The Shining, bam. Anyways, HBO Max, great service. The only thing I must say about HBO Max, even though I like their selection and I was pleasantly surprised by the Turner Classics curated section, is the fact that the app is a piece of dog shit. On at least on Roku devices, Roku TV. I have 2 Roku TVs. The app tends to crash all the time. It's slow, it's laggy. When you first launch it, it takes forever. I've never had an app act so terrible than the HBO Max app. It is god fucking awful, and it pisses me off. And there are a lot of times where I end up not watching stuff just because the stupid fucking thing crashed. But anyways, let's not get too negative here. Great service, might work better on other things. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my dumb fuck TVs. I don't know. But anyways, highly recommended. Coming off of Turner Classic, or not Turner Classic movies. What am I talking about? The Criterion list that we just went through. It's a no-brainer. If you like Criterion stuff, HBO Max selection is going to fit the bill for you. I mean, they just have a ton of stuff. I mean, right here, right off the bat, I could go boom into Amityville, boom, Assault on Precinct 13, one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. Also, HBO Max has original premieres. They have movies that come out in theater and on their service in tandem. Boom, we got The Suicide Squad. Really fun movie. Just watched it yesterday, actually. So why not? Give it a whirl. They have 2 plans, I believe. They have an ad plan that's $9.99 a month and without ads, which is ad-free for $14.99 a month. And if you go yearly, it's $99.99 a year and $149.99 a year for ad-free. So it's one of the more expensive streaming services out there, but they have a lot of really good stuff. And in my opinion, they're worth it because I end up watching a lot of those Turner curated movies all the time. So let's go ahead and move on to our next service here. Okay, just want to touch on Amazon Prime Video real quickly. Most of the channels that I'm talking about, you can actually tie in to your Amazon account via Amazon channels rather than having a separate app. But in my opinion, having the separate app for HBO Max and all of these other channels like Shudder, we'll talk about Shudder in a moment, and what you don't actually get when you tie your channel into your Amazon account. You don't get the live viewing party that Shudder offers with their series, The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. You do not, you're not able to see that live with everyone else. So it kind of is a pared down version what you would get if you signed up for Shudder on its own. So I just wanted to touch on that really quickly. I'm not sure if content is stripped down for Amazon channels compared to their apps, but Amazon Prime Video, everybody pretty much has it. It does have some decent selections and things to rent. I don't really want to go into it. We already covered a bunch of stuff that's like on Netflix, and like I don't want to get into too much of the mainstream services because it is a good chance you already have Amazon Prime and are aware of what they have to offer, but you might not be aware that tying the channels in to your account, there might be a difference between what's here and what is actually on the standalone app. So that's something to keep in mind. So that'll segue us into going over to the Shudder channel and see what's available on their standalone app. So let's go ahead and switch over to Shudder. Okay, up now we got Shudder, one of the premier streaming services for horror movies. They have Italian horror movies, B horror movies, new horror movies, self-produced horror stuff, horror series. It's where Creepshow, the series, came from. But I know Creepshow is available now on other services. They just premiered Near Dark there. Good little vampire movie with Bill Paxton. Hey man, we're on express elevator to hell, man.
On express elevator to hell.
I don't think that's available anywhere else. They got Burnt Offerings, great little creepy haunted house movie, and of course the Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs that premieres on Friday nights when they have a season going, or they actually have sometimes they have specials that air for marathons for holidays. So you can have like a Thanksgiving one, Christmas marathon, so on and so forth. Great stuff. Not much else can be said, I guess, about Shudder. It's one of the best horror streaming apps out there. Have all the classics, the classic Italian, The Beyond, Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, B movies like Shopping Mall, B 80s movies like Deadly Games, which is a horror home, actually, like it's kind of like Home Alone. Yeah, it's called Dial Code Santa Claus, aka Deadly Games. Kind of weird, fun movie though. Cannibal Holocaust, it's a video nasty. And exclusives like Boar, Hunted, so on and so forth. Those ones I haven't seen, so I won't touch on them too much. Class of 1984, cool. Lots of good stuff here. Nothing bad to say about them. It's a no-brainer for horror fans. It is the premier horror streaming app out there. It's free for 7 days, $5.99 a month, and $56.99 for the year. I can't suggest it or recommend it anymore. If you're a horror fan, you have to have Shudder, and you have to participate in the Twitter parties when Joe Bob Briggs comes on and premieres an episode or does a live episode on Friday nights. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to hook up with fellow horror fans on Twitter. It's just, it's everything that a horror aficionado would want out of a channel. They really care about what they put out. They have great premieres of different movies that never really seen the light of day on any other service. So I will stop gushing over Shudder. We're going to move on to our next service here. Okay, up next is the Arrow channel. Arrow is a relatively new streaming service. I've recently found out about them via my interest in boutique Blu-rays. I do have a video on boutique Blu-rays and region-free Blu-rays. They are a great company, releasing really quality stuff. Their streaming channel is no different, or streaming app. They are available. You can get them through Roku. I'm not sure. I don't think you can get them or tie them into Amazon Prime. So if I'm wrong, please let me know. But I don't think I've seen them on there. They release a lot of really cool cult, horror, action, schlocky, classic stuff. All the stuff that I really enjoy. They have, let's see, let's scroll down here. I know they have a lot of Romero stuff, Children of the Corn. A lot of their releases, go hand in hand with their Blu-ray releases. So really good service. A little bit more niche, I would say, than a Shudder service. So this is really getting more into the hardcore, really a fan that's looking for really something different and special. A lot of stuff on here I haven't seen or even heard about, which is really cool. Discover all this new content. like White Fire. It's a really strange action movie. They have these double features that they feature. It's really just a unique streaming service, but I understand it is not for everybody. Don't Torture Duckling, it's Italian horror. Wow, they're just pretty cool. I mean, you get a lot of cool points for knowing about the Arrow channel, I guess. Well, look, they got a little bit more mainstream creep show too. Society, that's a weird one. Let me know what you think of that film if you've never seen that. Brian Usna, creator of like Reanimator, really cool movies. Really cool channel. I'm not gonna sit here and gush for a half hour about it. It's niche. It's a lot more streamlined and specific. It might not be for everyone, but if you really do enjoy Shudder and are looking to expand upon it, I highly recommend the Arrow channel. It's really a no-brainer for horror fans or people who like weird and wild stuff. Arrow does have a 30-day free trial. It's $4.99 monthly and $49.99 annually. So it's a pretty good deal. It's one of the least expensive streaming apps, but it is kind of, like I said, hyper focused to a certain crowd of people. So, okay, let's go ahead and visit another streaming app here. Okay, up next is Full Moon Features. Now, you may recognize some of these titles from back in the day when you're wandering the video store through the horror section, sci-fi section, action section. They got a lot of pretty cool titles that came out straight to video. One of their most popular in the series is the Puppet Master series. As you can see here, there's probably a million of them. Also popular was the Demonic Toys series. They released some other titles that they acquired as well. They have Intruder available. I believe that's a slasher film that takes place in a grocery store.
I'm just crazy about this store. Intruder.
Blade in the Dark, Italian horror. So this is another pretty specific streaming channel. Full Moon has a lot of creative and just fun overall B movies. The Transfer series is pretty fun. There's like 5 or 6 of those, so there's a bunch you can watch here. Again, it's a little more specific than what a Shudder would be or what you would find in another service. Maybe not as niche as something like Arrow Video. It is, of course, pretty laser focused on Full Moon features and titles. If you like Full Moon titles, you probably know about this. If you didn't know they had their own streaming channel or app, now you know. Full Moon has a 7-day trial. It's $6.99 a month and $59.99 for the year. That's pretty much it for Full Moonies. Let's move on to our last paid streaming service. Okay, up next is Troma Now. Troma Now is available finally via Roku. So now you can install the channel on your Roku device. It was not available previously on Roku, so that was great. I've been waiting for that to happen. Troma is one of those diehard independent movie studios that's been around for quite a while. Their head honcho and president, Mr. Lloyd Kaufman, he's a pretty goofy dude. Their most popular fare is, of course, The Toxic Avenger. You got Class of Nukem High, Tromeo and Juliet, you name it. It's actually where James Gunn originated from. I believe he wrote some Troma films. I don't know if he directed any, but he actually gave Lloyd a small cameo in the new Suicide Squad movie. So a little tidbit there for you. For me, it's worth it. I like Troma stuff. I like all the Toxic Avengers. I really like the Class of Nukem High stuff. I'm really into, that post-apocalyptic, biker, violent gang type movie, I guess. I don't know, Warriors style. It's like a Warriors got dumped into a vat of toxic waste, and then you get Class of Nukem High. So, and they have like the Toxic Crusaders cartoon show, which was pretty short-lived, I believe. I don't know how many seasons they had of that, but overall, another one of those really hyper-focused streaming channels. I mean, what else can be said about them? They make some really goofy, gory exploitation B movies. They also release some other titles. They have, I think they have Matt Stone and Trey Parker's first movie, Cannibal the Musical. You know, the South Park guys. There it is, Cannibal the Musical. Boom. Right on time there. So that's Troma. If you weren't aware that they were available now via Roku, now you know. I love them. Oh, look, they got Maniac Cop. That's a Bruce Campbell feature film there, from the old Evil Dead movies there. He's actually in Maniac Cop 2 for like 5 seconds in the beginning too. It's kind of it's a fun movie. All three of them, Maniac Cop 1, 2, and 3. But anyways, that's Troma. Love them or hate them, they are available now. Thank goodness. I love them. I am a subscriber. Your first month on Troma is free. It's $4.99 a month after that, and $59.88 for the year. So that's gonna wrap up all our pay services. I tried to cover as many as possible, the ones, especially the ones that I use and like. We're going to go into 2 free alternatives that won't cost you a penny here next. So stay tuned for that. Let's switch over to our first free service, I should say, is Tubi. You'll be surprised actually what Tubi has to offer you for no money whatsoever. So let's go ahead and pop on over to Tubi. Okay, up next is Tubi. Now, Tubi is a free service that all they require is you to watch their little ads. So you can go ahead and pick from any of their movies. You're just going to be subject to advertisements. Not a bad payoff because they have a decent selection. Let's just click on over to the horror section. Oh, why are you clicking on horrors at? Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm controlling this motherfucker. Anyways, because I love horror movies. So what do they have here? They have some decent flicks. Halloween 2 might be a little bit of a mess. Got good violence, Child's Play, Biggity Boom, Descent 2. We've got the Crazies remake. I mean, there's not bad stuff here. Creepshow 2. It's got Jaws, for Christ's sakes, and a Jaws the Revenge. Aliens. It's got decent flicks for free. Really nothing to complain about here. It's not a bad service, better than some actually with their picks. I know, I'm not going to cover Hulu in this, but Hulu has some movies and whatnot, and it's pretty sparse. Not that great. Hulu's more for TV shows and whatnot. In my opinion, I don't like them that much, so I'm not going to feature them. Great Texas Chainsaw, boom, one of the best. The Changeling, one of my favorite ghost movies. If you haven't seen The Changeling, you need to watch The Changeling. It'll change your life. George C. Scott should have done more horror movies. He did The Changeling, and also another one of my favorites is The Exorcist 3. Boom. Talk about that movie all the time. Exorcist 3. Check it out. I don't think it's available in here. We could search for it. Hellraiser Judgment. That's not Doug Bradley. Get out of here, fake pinhead. Good stuff. Day of the Dead.
I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein.
I think Tubi's one of the only places you can see Day of the Dead. I think maybe did Shudder have Day of the Dead or Arrow? I know one of those other ones did, but that's great. I mean, that's great. Watch it for free. Boom. Day of the Dead. A great Romero zombie movie. Almost. I mean, it doesn't trump Dawn of the Dead, but I like it. I think I like it just as much as the original Dawn of the Dead. It grew on me. I didn't like it as much as Dawn. Okay, let's get out of the horror section here for a second. Let's go over to classics. Okay, so we've got kind of offshoots, classic movies. They have Enter the Dragon. They have some older stuff. May not be the best selection here. But what are you gonna do? Oh, they got Black Sunday, Jack the Ripper. Oh boy, you want to watch the 10 Commandments? Well, that's a classic. All right. Well, yeah, when they mean classics, they mean some old mammer jammers here. Let's see. Let's go into comedy real quick. Let's see what they got here. They've got some decent stuff. The Sitter. Okay. What else? Let me see something. Do they have like Caddyshack or anything? They got Hook. And they got some stuff for the kids. Cedar Rapids. That isn't that bad. Little Miss Sunshine. That's kind of a cool indie comedy if you want to be a hipster dude. True Lies. I just actually watched this via Tubi. The quality was sketchy at best. So you have to watch that, I guess, with some of these services. At least on Tubi, sometimes the quality is rank, and True Lies was pretty terrible. It was cropped. It was like not even DVD quality. I mean, it was really bad. So, but no, they're not all like that. It's a mixed bag. Let's just check martial arts real quick. Oh, they got some good stuff. They got a lot of Jackie Chan stuff. Bruce Lee, boom. Ong Bak. Yeah, Ong Bak. Tony Jaa, boom. White Tiger, white dude. Another Tony Jaa. Well, they got a bunch of Tony Jaa stuff. I need to check some of this stuff. Cynthia Rothrock. I gotta get on that Cynthia Rothrock stuff. I used to see her in the video stores all the time. She's actually a fairly talented martial artist. So I might start getting into just watching some straight up action films, B action movies. Now there's another one, Undercover. I gotta get in. Maybe I'll have a Cynthia Rothrock weekend. Boom. Hopefully she's still around kicking, doing some kicks. You get me? Anyways, that is Tubi. It's a really competent service. I mean, they have a lot of decent films to watch. Just put them on, and you know, you're not gonna be charged for anything. Just have to deal with commercials. So, not bad, not bad. Tubi is recommended. I always have it in my back pocket for to pull something up that isn't really available anywhere else, or maybe it's available for rental. So okay, so Tubi's free. Boom, check it out. Boom, free, no monthly, no any of that. Okay, let's go on to our next and last service. We're going to talk about VUDU. VUDU is a really nice pay service in terms of if you're going to buy a digital collection, 4K titles, or UHD stuff, or regular Blu-ray quality stuff, even just HD or HDX quality films. VUDU has a good library. I have a solid library in there before I started getting into physical media again. But they also have a free section that's not terrible. So let's finish up with VUDU. Let's get on to Tubi here, and I'll see you over on VUDU side. Boom. Okay, last up we have VUDU. Now, VUDU is a pay service in terms of you can go ahead and buy and rent movies from them, but they also have some free titles available. I was using VUDU to actually collect a bunch of digital versions of movies. You can see under my VUDU I have 90 movies, so I'm not bullshitting you. I do like the service, use the service. They have really good quality streaming transfers of the films. They offer 4K UHD versions of some titles. Their HDX titles look pretty good. Still not as good as physical media, but a really good service. But the whole point of this is to show you the free section. So they have, new releases and all that, but you can go ahead and just browse via, genre. Let's go ahead and look at the action section. So they have, they have a lot of good stuff here for totally free. You just got to watch a couple of ads, similar to Tubi. So it's a really great service. They got Django on there. I mean, that's a great movie. Let's go ahead and scroll through it. King of New York. Boom. I actually just got that in UHD. It's a great Christopher Walken flick. Let's go ahead and switch over to good old horror. Let's see what's going on in the horror section. We got Death Proof, Tarantino's Grindhouse flick. Fear Incorporated, Manborg. Oh shit, might have to watch that Manborg, son. They've got some decent. What is that? Cockneys vs. Zombies. They've got some stuff that's actually watchable. Decent selection of free titles. Let's see what they have in terms of comedy here. Oh, Jurassic Shark is a comedy. Kung Fu Master, Jackie Chan, Badasses, Battle Royale. I'm not sure that's a comedy. Is this all mixed up here? Did they mix this with horror? I don't know. Mega Time Squad. Is that like a throwback, modern retro movie? Yeah, not bad. I don't know if it's their free selection is as good as Tubi's. I think Tubi's is probably a little bit better, but still worth a shot. Let's look at sci-fi. Do we have any classic sci-fi in here? Do we get some Blade Runner action or something like that? Planet Hulk. These are kind of offshoot titles. Saturn 3. I've seen that. That's not a bad flick. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, VUDU's a very competent service. It's a good place if you want to have a digital collection and buy some titles. But you know, their free service is not bad. Their free selection is decent. It swaps out quite often. Their regular stuff, you know, they have the theater at home type deal, so you can watch really just new release stuff there as well. Their quality and their app works wonderful. I've never really had a problem with it at all, like I have with some other streaming apps. Yeah, that's right, HBO Max, bastards. But anyways, okay, so that's VUDU, and that's gonna wrap up our video here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little outro. Hopefully you've gotten some information. I was able to help you out a little bit, maybe inform you of some things that you didn't know. That was the whole point of this video. I know there are other services out there. You know, we didn't cover Paramount or Disney Plus and that kind of stuff. There's a reason for that. I'm not too familiar. I don't think Paramount has a bunch of offerings that are worthy of listing here. Kind of like with Hulu, it's kind of specific. If you're a fan of that stuff, you probably already have them. And Disney Plus as well. You kind of know what Disney has and what they have to offer. So if you want your Star Wars and your Marvel stuff, so you're going to go there. So it's, you know, there's a reason why I just wanted to focus on the ones that I love and use, and hopefully give people who are interested in the type of films that I've been talking about in my other videos, an outlet for streaming and, you know, purchasing, because VUDU has a lot of titles to purchase that are pretty good quality, as you can see by my listing of digital features. I have a Fletch. Sometimes I have combo, you know, buy 3 classic comedies for this price. So sometimes you can get them really cheap. I know I got the Birds down here for a couple of dollars actually. This was in a class. I think that I got that American Graffiti and like maybe HUD or something. But anyways, okay guys, let's wrap up this video here, do a little outro for you, and hopefully you like and subscribe here. All right, see you on the other end. Boom. Okay, and we're done. Hopefully you stuck around and reviewed all the streaming services with me. I hope you got something out of it. I tried to include a lot of information, even information about movies on the platforms that I like. If you just found one thing helpful, it was totally worth it. I did put a lot of time and effort into this to try and make it comprehensive. I know it doesn't include every single streaming service, but it does include the ones that I use on a regular basis and have a decent amount of personal information. I never want to put anything out there that I haven't really personally used or just try to shill something. So please like and subscribe. I'm going to make more videos like this. I appreciate you sticking around for that long. I know it was a doozy, and hopefully I'll see you on my next video, or hopefully you'll watch my next video. Okay, take care guys. Bye-bye.